Hello again, Lesage Renegade here. I want to talk to you today, day two, about my fitness and self improvement journey so far. And I say so far because it's not anywhere close to ending. We're still doing it, we're still trying to push, we're still trying to get better every day. And I feel like running is one of those things where it touches on both. It touches on fitness, it touches on self improvement. And one of the reasons why I think running touches on self improvement and fitness is because obviously when you run, you get fitter, right? But the self improvement part of it is that a lot of running is very mental. A lot of running has to do with what you tell yourself during the run and how much you can give up and how much you can push. Right now, I'm training for the LA Marathon for next year. This is my third marathon. But if you told me 5 years ago that I'll be doing a marathon, I would never have believed you. I'd be like, you're crazy. I hate running. In fact, when I got a chance to run 4 miles. That's how I got into running. I got a chance to run 4 miles, and then I hated it, and then that pushed me. I told myself, okay, because I hated it so much, I need to do it to a point where it doesn't feel as bad as it did. Because if you've ever ran before and you're not a runner, you know that feeling where everything is burning, you cannot breathe, you cannot talk. It just feels like, yeah, like you know the feeling I'm talking about if you've been there, right? That's how I felt. And I was like, no, I don't want to feel like this again doing this. When we were kids, we were running around and doing that. But as you get older, you're like, wow, what is this feeling? So I used to hate running. And then that basically led me to run my first half marathon. And I remember at the end of my first half marathon, I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me this is half of a marathon? So I have to do this twice? No, I'm never going to do a marathon. But guess what? I'm on my third marathon now that I'm training for. And that shows you the growth. I look at that and I see the growth in myself because I understand that there is a mental thing that goes into that, right? When I tell people, oh, I'm going to run 16 miles, and I see how people look at me, and to me, it's like, no, it's just part of the training, right? But I realized, oh, there's a point when I couldn't even run 4 miles. But most of it wasn't just getting fitter. Most of it wasn't just doing that. A lot of it had to do with mental mental strength. I can tell you one of the things was at first you run, you just want to run out there. And what I always tell people is that if you're running and you're out of breath, if you're running and you cannot talk, you're probably running too fast. That's the one thing I tell, especially beginner runners. If you're running and you can't talk, you're running too fast. Most people cannot talk when they run, right? Unless they're runners. So when I started training, I made many mistakes. I got injured. I had to learn the hard way, and all that happened, right? Then I decided to actually do some research and everything, and I learned about zone two running. When I learned about zone two running, I started trying to train in zone two, and then I realized, oh my goodness, it's hard running at a low heart rate because the moment you start running, your heart rate shoots up. It's like, how do I keep my heart rate low? But as I kept practicing and practicing, because you get frustrated, and guess what happens when you get frustrated? Your heart rate spikes. But you have to keep your heart rate low, right? So it was one of those things where you're like, okay, I cannot get frustrated. So you learn to stay calm, you learn to stay centered. And eventually with time you start getting too you stop getting too attached to to the heart rate itself, and with that, while still keeping it in mind. You're not attached to it, but you have it in mind. And with that, it actually helped me get better and keep my heart rate low because I realized every time I get frustrated, every time I think about something that upsets me, my heart rate spikes. And it became sort of like a form of meditation. And I had to learn how to breathe. You think, oh, I breathe every day, I breathe air every day, but when you start running, you realize, oh, there's a way you can breathe. I learned about cadence, I learned about stride, all those things I never paid attention on. One of my friends actually told me about cadence. I sent them my running matrix, and they're like, why is your cadence so low? And I was like, what do you mean? And then I went and do some research. I'm like, oh, wow, that is quite low, right? And that's something a lot of people don't pay attention to. But for me, I don't just take something up, and I would advise you not to do that as well. I don't just take something up to do it for the sake of just doing it. I try to do it right, because the more you know about it, the more you can do it right, the more you can measure things, the more you know about something, the better you get at it, the more confident you become in that field. And I can say I'm pretty confident in my running. Let me know in the comment below if any of what I said actually is helpful to you. Let me know if you're thinking of running, if you're a runner, what are the advice, what has been your experience. Let me know if you understand that feeling I was talking about. And if you think that this is something that would help you, or something that you resonate with, and you want to follow me on this journey of getting myself out of the comfort zone, like I said in the previous video, that I'm usually behind the camera, but today I'm in front of the camera. So it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, and that is also part of the next step of my self-improvement journey, right? Let me know in the comment below. Subscribe, like the video, share it with people that you think may resonate with it. And well, I hope to see you here tomorrow again for another topic. This is amazing. It's only day 2, so let me not speak too soon, and then I will see you very soon for day 3. I'm excited.